When we adjourn, you can get a district map. Number 9.
Gotta get my glasses out. I would like to know, what is it that you would bring to the school board in the way of a personal perspective that would help to facilitate making changes that will increase the graduation rate and the quality of education that we provide to our students? So the focus is on your perspective. What would you bring to the board, your perspective on the board?
Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you. I have been doing a tremendous amount of research as to why schools fail, why some are excellent, and I would bring the experience that I've had as a witness to the school board meetings over the past 4 years. I would bring my experience as a person who has been involved in public service, who can maintain a very dignified temperament at meetings, and I would try to bring my understanding of what is needed in the way of proper education to the school district. You can find a tremendous amount of information on Google. If you check, you can find what works from the East Coast to the West Coast, and it's very interesting, and it's a very complicated situation. In Taos, one of the main things that we need to do is recognize our heritage in our educational system.
I'm going to pick up where Gene left off, because my personal perspective, having kind of been through the educational system here, Joel, and then working here as a professional, is that Taos is very complicated. It has cultural complications, socioeconomic complications that can't be reproduced anywhere in the world as far as I'm concerned. And that's one of the reasons I think that the plan for increasing graduation rates and helping all of the kids be educated equally is going to take a lot of thought. And in my personal opinion, we have right now a very, very capable superintendent that's willing to take it to that next level. And having dealt with similar entities and boards, I feel like I can bring the empowerment to that process to allow the superintendent to do it.
I agree with Jacob on that. I don't know if anybody has the opportunity to read Dr. Weston's strategic plan of academic achievement. If you have an opportunity, you know, it's on the school website. You can download it, you can read it. It's something that we need as a community, as a total buy-in for Dr. Weston on this. You know, it's something that I support. It's something that our community needs to support, and our staff. And these are issues that, you know, we're going to leave up to Dr. Weston, let him make the $105,000 he has it as a year, and we're going to rely on him for these choices that he's going to bring to our community and just implement it as a board.
I bring 30 years of training as an engineer in solving difficult problems. I do that every day. You got to look for many different possible solutions, thinking outside the box solutions, then being able to evaluate those ideas, have dialogue with teams. In this case, it would be dialogue with the board administration, work through those, modify the solutions, and try to find the best ones to implement it. The superintendent has published a good starting point for a plan. I think we need to be a lot bolder. We need to put in place a lot of other steps at elementary, middle, and high school levels to be sure that we're teaching our kids early, and we keep them being educated all the way through. Literacy programs, music for all, things like dual language, transition programs between middle and high school are all very important. Thank you.
My personal perspective focus would be on the dropout rate at this time. I believe we have data already in place where our kids and our teachers are succeeding. Once we see this and we find out where they're doing good and where we are failing, we connect the dots and see what can we do to better focus on this dropout rate. Right now, I believe we have a systematic and a systemic system in our school systems, and for me, they both work hand in hand. When we use that data for the betterment of our students and set a realistic goal for our dropout rate, I believe right now we're at 50%. If we're comfortable with that dropout rate, we don't do anything about it, but if we really want to make change, it's going to take a slow, small step towards it and get a goal set for maybe in the next 4 years to see where we can get that 50%, maybe to 70%, and start working at it slowly and gradually and supporting the people that are already in place. Thank you.
You know, I think my age puts me in a unique position to be able to bring a lot to the school board. I think that I come here with an open mind and open ears to listen to the people and the teachers, which I think is imperative. But I also come with the experience of being recently in the system. Not only was I in the system and I was actually one of the lucky who flourished, but I see what works and what doesn't, and I think that's absolutely necessary in this board. We need to be able to see the problems and fix them, and we need to be able to work with our superintendent and teachers to do that. Thank you.
Okay, I think the primary thing I bring to the board is, from a perspective standpoint, is my belief in excellence. I have a brother, a nephew and niece who live in Ciudad Real, Spain. And recently my brother called my dad and told him that these two kids are up late every night studying. So, you know, the only thing free in life is you know, God's grace. Everything else requires hard work. And so more homework, more reading of chapter books. You know, again, I can't emphasize the literacy and ability for our kids to write well and increase their vocabulary. And the only way you can do that is by reading. Okay, thank you.
The personal perspectives I bring are the perspectives as a parent. I've been a parent who has had kids in the school system for the past 7 years. I'm current and up to date with respect to the issues and the successes in all of the schools that I've interacted with. I also have a spouse that's been a teacher for the past 7 years, and I know how hard teachers work. I know what they come home with. I know the difficulties that they deal with and the successes that they can achieve as well. And I also bring the perspective as an educator because I teach a course at UNM Taos, and I teach the students that are coming out of our school system. So I know the skills that they have, and I know the skills that they need because I've been in higher education. I've gotten degrees outside of a bachelor's degree, and these broad experiences can be used to help guide the school board to develop processes and procedures that will help our students address those graduation rates. Thank you.
I feel what I could bring is the loving and compassion that any mother has for a child and their own children. I feel that if a child feels that they are not cared about, they're not going to do what they can do to make themselves better. If a teacher or staff member feels like they're underappreciated and not cared about, they're not going to be able to perform what they can to their ability. I feel that I can give that to them. I know how to say, hey, good job, and hey, thank you for doing a great job. I see walking into these elementary classrooms that, come on, you know, this is important and you need to stay focused. Why, miss? No one cares. And that's how this is coming from elementary level children, and we need to cover that with them, that there is somebody in a higher level that does care about them if they feel like they're being left out in the cold.
Sorry. What I bring to this is a lifelong experience in both private and public sector experience in working with groups of people and organizations to try to do a better job at what we do. And one of the things that you have to always keep in mind, in the perspective that I look at, is that it's always a work in progress. We're never done. We're never perfect. The status quo is no place to ever stand. And so what you look at is how you can bring people together and understand one thing very important. You don't know all the answers yourself. You need the input of others to make it happen. So you have to listen. You have to see what they want and then try to find the solutions that make it work. And the primary thing is, you always look at it from the perspective of it can be done and not that it can't be done. Because that's where you look at. Find the solution to the problem.
Our session for the night. Candidates, thank you for taking this time. Thank you for one more. We are out of time. We have the buses outside. Your children are waiting, and we are at the 8 o'clock level. It must be a good school board candidate. There are children outside playing hopscotch, those types of things. They feel very familiar with this group. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the community's time for allowing to come in here. El Monte Sagrado, Aiden Bain for the sound. We really appreciate it. Candidates are here. Please come up and enjoy your time talking with them one-on-one. Thank you from the Taos County Chamber of Commerce.